the hell do you have on?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Capsule Selection. Today, I got a vibe for you as always. Today, we're going to step into what it is to have a different kind of vibe, though. This is a different type of storytelling that I want to do today. This is going to be one built off of richness, built off of depth, and built off of pure presence. I want to talk about fragrances that are Baroque. Era where, the Baroque era, I come to find this era through researching Clive Christian fragrances. I know how many of you guys love Clive Christian fragrances, who favor those fragrances. And so just like you, I dove deeper into what it was of a Baroque style of perfumery. And so these are ones that I come up with in my collection that are not particularly about showing off, but it is about what a feeling of emotion, a feeling about contrast, and a feeling about texture that come off in perfumes that when it's a fragrance in your collection, it has the same energy that lives through a composition as you do, and it makes you feel larger than life. That's what I'm talking about when it talks about the essence of Baroque fragrances, in my opinion, and what I've come to understand the context of it. So these are not just scents that fill a space. These are ones that in your collection, they have a story written into every note that is put into these particular complex compositions. And if you wear these in the right way, as I always tend to say, they're wardrobe compositions. And you put these in your collection, they'll start to write one for you as well as far as the story goes. And so if this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Everyone, welcome to The Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuances of scent, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's wonderful experience. Today, diving into what it is to have Baroque fragrances is one that I really feel compelled to do. I'm going to escape a little bit from the notion of having sexy and alluring and sensual fragrances. Of course, these have the notion of that built right into it because I've talked to those in these fragrances in that manner previously. But really talking about the complexity and complexion of a fragrance and how it comes off, I really want to dive in deeper and talk about these compositions in that particular section or part of my wardrobe. So first, let's get right into one of the most famous of all Baroque fragrances. Let's get into Chanel Coromandel. So here we go with Chanel Coromandel. To me, as you all know, this one is a scent that feels of confidence. It's a way it comes off. It's not a loud fragrance. It's not something that really shouts. It's one that carries its weight in the way that is in a formality type of essence. And that's really, to me, what Baroque comes to me. It's one that has a creamy patchouli that's wrapped in a beautiful incense and benzoin note that is, to me, the more exemplary note built into this particular fragrance. The architectural difference and the complex composition in which it is based upon. Many people do not, from what I see online and reading, talk about the composition of more than just a patchouli rose fragrance. To me, though, this is one of the better benzoin fragrances I've ever smelled. We talk about benzoin boheme. We talk about things, benzoins from YSL, benzoins from many different brands, I should say. But to me, the polished warmth of this one, the ambre polished warmth of this one, from that benzoin is what makes this a smooth, elegant fragrance that it sits right. It's kind of bold. It's kind of opulent, kind of resonant of a very opulent and wealthy person. And if sophistication had a scent, this would kind of be it to me. So this in the Baroque feel is one that I wanted to come across with first and introducing it to you guys because Chanel made a very wonderful fragrance in Coromandel. Rich in the patchouli, rich in rose, rich in white chocolate. Of course, we've talked in those notions before. But as it comes about as a very developed, complex composition, think about that benzoin and how rich and how enveloping this fragrance is and how it develops on your skin throughout the 8 to 10 hours that it's on. One that you will be enthralled with when putting on your skin. That is Coromandel from the brand of Chanel. This one here, this is what I call a grounded luxury scent. This is Serge Luten's Ambre Sultan. And this is a fragrance, man, throughout the years, it has never died off as one of those top 20 to 25 fragrances that is talked about every single year in perfume enthusiasts list, perfume enthusiasts, vlogs and blogs. This is a very beautiful, beautiful fragrance that smells like a story told under warm lights. And the way that I love to describe fragrances in that way is to give you a conjuring memory, a conjuring notion, a conjuring feeling. And I hope that I do that justice when I talk about this particular scent, because this one here, while being Baroque and complex, it is one that shines truly in its amber form. But it has dry herbs, it has resins, it has ambers, and that doesn't just settle on the skin like like those. I don't want to say like those other fragrances, but this one has a very timeless sexiness about it that is very compelling, very rhythmic on the skin. It's the one that keeps you like in this deep, steady motion, deep, steady moves. As I stated, in your own rhythm in some way, shape, and form. And so for me, when I wear this particular scent and how it comes across on my skin, I always feel like I'm in no rush. I'm just in a space of my own with no noise. And it's just for me when I want to feel comfortable and in my own element when it comes like this deep, cool fall day or a cold winter evening or something like that. When I'm wearing this particular scent, I have something in mind that I want to be exhibiting, and that is to be in a very complex, contemplative mode of myself. And also, when I want to wear something very deep, rich, resinous, and sex appealing, it can be inside of that particular wheelhouse. But as far as the scent goes, the beauty in which it is built, the complexity in which it exhibits, it had to go on my list of Baroque fragrances going into the fall of 2025. So if you are interested in fragrances that really fit that mold, this is one to get your nose on. This is Ambre Sultan from the brand of Serge Lutens. This is a beautiful fragrance, man. Now, as it stands, all you gentlemen should be I'll say this, these should not be novel fragrances to many of you. These are fragrances that are in many of you guys' collections. Many of you have sampled, many of you are on the cusp of purchasing. And so when I talk about Baroque, I want to show you guys in my collection, not the ones that may be something not everyone has smelled or something that everyone has had their presence around, but some things in my collections I know at least 50 to 60% of you gentlemen have smelled. Jubilation 25, in understanding what Baroque fragrances were meant to include in that era of making perfumery. This is one of the most well represented when looking up lists and looking up perfumes and looking up the building and structure of fragrances to come across as a beautifully done Baroque fragrance. This one has so much presence. This is Jubilation 25 from the brand of Amouage. This is the Eau de Parfum collection, not the exceptional extrait as you can see. But this one here, it walks in before you do. It is one of the loudest fragrances in my collection. It is very, very opulent smelling. This is a very old flacon. This is the one with just after they did the magnetic caps. This was one of the first representations of magnetic caps. I remember I bought two, and one bottle came in with the magnetic cap and one did not. So it's just on the cusp when they did that. So I didn't even notice any relation in which it didn't smell the same to me. So I know many people said it was reformulated once they went to magnetic caps, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just stating that this formula smells the same as it did back then. And for me, this one is a blend of, just check out the notes. You got honey, you got incense, you got raspberry, you have a beautiful, beautiful oud note, and it feels of a royal excellence. And that's what I tend to love about this particular scent profile. And so when you talk about that in a way that it's done to be jubilant, it's done to be like Jubilation says in the name, a party fragrance for the royals. It's a smooth power fragrance that is one that's built on legacy. It's one that smells of opulence, and it's one that feels like you need to live in it and live in that era at the same time. And that's why it's inherent to me to make this come on the list. Because if you can't relate to it in that way, maybe you can relate to it in the wearing experience. If you can't relate to a Baroque lifestyle, relate to it in the wearing experience of something that smells very opulent, something that smells like you're going to be the most compelling and wonderful smelling person in the room when you wear a fragrance like this, because that's exactly what it does. And that's exactly what a Baroque perfume should do for you. Beautiful incense, blackberry, oud, everything you want in a fragrance to be in a Baroque style. Get your nose on that. Jubilation 25 from the brand of Amouage. When we talk about pure class, we're talking about a fragrance profile from the brand of Roja Parfums, and we're talking about Diaghilev. Diaghilev is a definite top 5 fragrance in my collection. This is one of those scent profiles that has that world-class richness written all over it. Baroque style. Moss, peach, florals, a touch of animalic warmth is underneath this one in the way that it comes from the transitioning from the top, the mid to the base is just so sophisticated. But there's this little mischievousness in this one that I love. It's hiding in there too. Very animalic funk, but it's so superbly done. Many people, as I bring it up, I'm a part of the zeitgeist. I'm a part of the notion of what it is to be in this community. And I see a lot of people saying what Roja has done with his brand, as far as the transitioning to new bottles, maybe a new perfumier. I can get where some of the, it feels like almost a laissez-faire grab for some of the fragrances that are more mainstream. But these fragrances here are wonderful fragrances to still pick up and put in your collection as, the ones I will say, if you are interested in his branding, his perfumes, his Baroque style, get the ones that were on the market before 2020. And you'll see and understand exactly what it is that everyone talks about and why he became such an iconic figure in the community and in perfumery. This one is that type of scent where you want to wear a tuxedo, you want to be around glasses of cognac and glasses of bourbon in a very finely tuned atmosphere of very opulent, wealthy people, and you will fit truly, truly right into that type of environment wearing a scent like Diaghilev. Once again, one of the best Baroque fragrances that I've ever smelled, especially coming in what it is to understand that style. This is a wonderful, wonderful scent to get in your collection. So next, we have Sahraa Oud from the brand of Fragrance du Bois. Sahraa Oud is one of those fragrances. It's that really special confidence in the bottle style of scent profile. This is one of those scents where you understand what it is to have amber and spice meet oud and rose. I have many of both profiles in my collection. None other than this has met that more perfectly than you can ever think of when you think about a Baroque opulent style of perfumery. And what I'm saying specifically is that ouds and rose, when meeting amber and spice, is perfect in this particular scent from the brand of Fragrance du Bois. It is smooth, it is resinous, it is mature, and it is one of the most phenomenal smelling fragrances that I've ever smelled in my life. This is, of course, another top 10 fragrance in my collection. It's not one that is spectacularly done. It is one that is exceptionally done. It doesn't do anything but put you every step forward of the way in collecting fragrances and understanding what fine perfumery is. It earns its place amongst the best of Baroque in my collection, full stop. It doesn't do anything other than have a very simple, effortlessly sexual, effortlessly done luxury scent profile to it in the best possible way. So something you wear when you want to feel opulent, when you want to feel of the Baroque era, when you already know who you are and what you represent. This is the very perfect fragrance to wear in that particular scenario. It's great for every single wearing proposition I can think of except for daily wear. Wonderful leisure scent. It has that very laid back feel when you want it to. Luxury, evening elegance, date nights. This is one of the very best head turning fragrances. When you go out to a date and you wear this to somewhere where you want to be across from a 4-foot wooden table from someone, 2 to 3 feet from them, and you want them to get wafts of you and then become closer to you throughout the evening and understand what the scent is that you have on. This is that fragrance, because the 4-foot to 5-foot waft of scent profile versus the 2-foot scent profile versus the cuddle scent profile is vastly different. And that's a Baroque style of perfume, what I've come to understand. And so for me, Sahraa Oud represents the very best of what it is to have that particular scent profile in your collection. Get your nose on Sahraa Oud from the brand of Fragrance du Bois. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this really scratched the itch for you, because for me it did. I love doing deep dives when it comes to perfume and perfume genres. I'm very much so one of these guys that really loves this as a hobby, loves this as a fusion of who I am personality-wise. And so for me, bringing these lists to you is something I want to get off the actual super sexy, super date night, super flirtatious video formats, and then talk about something what it is to have the in-depth view of what a perfume collection is. So I hope I scratched that itch, like I said. So ladies and gentlemen, remember, as always, collecting is memory, or let me take that back. Scent is memory, collecting is legacy, and community is culture. And we here at the Dry Down, we are the culture. And I want to thank you guys for tapping into this video. Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for being a part of it, what it is to build a community. You guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.